We
What
are in
time
week 15. We
is it?
skipped a
15?
couple of weeks because
Happy post.
we were too busy.
Well, that and happy post Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy post Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Um, we got some good stuff to talk about today. We got a special guest later on. That's going to wrap up the show. But for now, we are back. It's week 15, NorCal week. And I got Coach Andrew right here with the kind of shirt. Kind of fit, kind of fat. That's awesome. All right, we'll get started.
GetSportsFocus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing. WeightsandBars.com. Build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts. Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Championship level sandwiches every single time. South Bay Construction, a reputation built on trust. And by Fuel Good, fueling your success. Conveniently located in Santa Clara off Homestead Road. For more info, go to fuelgoodmealprep.com.
All right, Coach Andrew. As you can see behind me, we got some photo stills of the GSF Senior All-Stars. We are up to 53 confirmed, ready to go. We still got about 17, about 20 more to confirm. The grades is killing people. Grades requirement.
Ooh,
But it's okay.
we-
It's okay. We will find the top guys.
yeah. I mean, just saying that right there, it's like, we'll just touch upon this now. Like, there's a reason. Like the GPA requirements moving forward, and this is for anyone that's like underclassmen that are listening. The GPA requirements just going to keep going up. Like you guys got to really understand that like you're a student athlete. Like the schools won't take you. You can be a baller, but if you don't even have the minimum requirements, like what are we gonna do? Like what is the university gonna do? You gotta take care of that. And even that, I heard across like, just everywhere, like, kids that are like good players, but they can't take care of the school part, and then all of a sudden you can't play that week because of like quarter grades or something like that. Like, come on, guys. This is the easiest thing to take care of. Just take care of your grades.
Speaking of that, though, have you seen the portal lately? The college transfer portal?
Dude, it is
Oh,
insane. Like at the end of the day, it's not college football is no longer college football. It's essentially like professional football. Like you're getting traded, which is what the transfer portal is all about. I'm just trying to keep up with the Panthers and trying to see who's coming back from our team so we can run it back. Found out my ring's coming in, so there we go.
Coach Andrew, world champ. There you
Going
go.
back, going back to back. But I mean, it's weird because like I'm seeing more news about transfer portal kids versus like, like the XFL, USFL, indoor, the AFL, like it's like getting pushed down on like feeds. So you don't even know who's getting signed where or what's actually happening with those leagues. Because it's like, oh, so like the one that popped up today, Emmett Smith's son, transferring out of Stanford. I was like, wow.
Good.
And
Wow.
I watched him play, and he's a very good guy. So I was like,
Oof.
man, wow.
I mean,
So,
it's interesting what's going on at Stanford and the rest of the Pac-12.
the Pac-2.
The Pac-2 now. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, whatever. And speaking of whatever, hey, so one of the coolest things we did this past week, and I say we because it's really all of us, is we put out our very first GSF OTY awards. OTY stands for of the year. And so I've always seen these lists, and I've always thought everybody's giving the awards to the same people, but I don't know. I figured, you know what? We've done a lot of really, really good things this year, and we're gonna keep doing that moving forward. So I figured it's time to do it. But it's the GSF version, which is
Right.
actually got a lot of really, really good feedback and some initial pushback. But ultimately it came down to like proof, like, okay, let's see who really did whatever. And so where do you want to start? We want to talk about this, and we kind of want to segment it because I think it's worth doing. All right, so the idea of these the of the year awards is to give the award to the individuals that really deserved it. But these are individuals that we actually saw live in person some way somehow in the past year. Could be a camp, could be like actual games. And so I thought this is going to be controversial. People are going to probably talk about it, and it kind of did stir up some stuff, but ultimately it kind of became like I got a lot of feedback on social media, DMs from coaches and other groups saying like, wow, you guys really you really did this right. We did it right, Coach Andrew, according to some people. And some people thought, wow, these are all like Sarah guys. These are all WCL guys. There's comments about, oh, private schools, recruit. And then I said, well, Los Gatos, San Ramon, and Pitt are private are not private schools, and they're represented on this list. And they said, oh, they recruit still. And I was like, okay, well then get recruited.
Didn't we talk about
That's
this
the issue.
before?
Then get recruited.
Yeah, I'm
And then
pretty
that
sure we've
comment was deleted, by the way.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about this already. It's like,
Oh, we've talked about it a lot.
yeah, and it's like, at the end of the day, like a public school, you can't recruit. Like, you know how hard that is? That is so hard. You have to live in the district. Like you have to be within their boundary in order to go to that public school. How are they
Yeah,
going to recruit you? And then if it's like, all of a sudden, like you just moved over, like it's fishy. They're going to look into it.
you will get.
Public, yeah, you'll get caught. Private schools, like, there's more to the private school than meets the eye. Like that's what I've always said.
Yeah. So the best player that I actually saw was Jalen Thomas. Like
He's hands down, he's consistent too.
very exactly. That's the main word to describe Jalen. Consistent. Every single week, every single. I want to say every single play, but every single week, Jalen showed up. He is a wide receiver. He could play running back. He could play slot. He's a punter. He's a returner.
And he's a DB.
He's a DB, a free safety. He could play cornerback if he needs to. He can throw too, because they ran the fake punts a few times this season. I've seen it where he threw the ball. And so you can't beat that. And I know there are really good teams out there, great teams like Sarah, De La Salle, San Ramon, but there's only one Jalen Thomas, man. Jalen Thomas is like the best player we've seen in a long, long time here in the Bay Area. I can't think of any other player as great as Jalen Thomas. Go ahead. We got time. Name them. Somebody who can return the ball and score, a threat. Somebody who could just him touching the ball is a major. He turns into a freaking weapon. And on defense,
honestly,
really. So
I don't know. Actually tried to think. I tried to think as far back as I could.
I got one.
Who?
Pat Tillman.
Wow. Dang.
I'll go way back.
Wow.
The only guy that I could think about. Who else? There's nobody. Okay, one thing about Jalen, though, they gave him that opportunity. They trusted him.
Right.
So shout out to the coaches at Los Gatos for giving him the keys to the car, keys to the town. So Jalen Thomas, one offer. Don't understand it. Talk to Coach Crail. He doesn't get it either. Talk to his teammates. They don't know what's up. Talk to Jalen. And this guy's just happy. It's like, yeah, hopefully this will help me. I was like, man, I would be mad. But hey, he's a great guy. He's a great kid. He's got a really good attitude. He's competitive. He's intense. He's going to go play at the next level. Maybe he'll go to Cal Poly. We'll see. But either way, Jalen Thomas, congratulations. You are the ultimate changer. The first ever GSF Ultimate Changer of the Year. That is equivalent to League MVP, Heisman Trophy, whatever you want to, best of the best. You want to talk about the next one?
Are we going right or down?
No, we'll just go down.
Yeah, I mean, offensive play of the year, we're going with Milwaukee Smith, Sarah Padres. And that's
I have to correct you there.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
Maui.
Huh?
Don't call him Maui.
Oh, got it. Let's try that again.
Coach. He's got a name. No, it's an inside name. No, I think it's, hopefully I'm right, Milwaukee Smith.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Smith. All right, let's try that again. You want to try that again?
No, I think we should keep it.
No. I don't want to get in trouble.
Because it's what everybody's going to do is mess up his name or call him the Maui name, which is not really his name. And so I heard it somewhere where you're not supposed to call him Maui. Like,
why do people call him that?
I think one of the coaches started it, but
you don't like it.
Fired to where like his dad said his name is Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Then let me give the respect.
Oh, you know what? It was on the podcast. It was on the Padre podcast with Coach Walls. Coach Walls talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but we'll call him. Let's if we're gonna do a show, let's call him Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Smith from Sarah. We've watched him every week, and he is consistent, very consistent with what he does. And he's like, just the way that he's evolved, through what's it like since last year, like to make that much of an improvement, it's like his passes are like right on time. He's putting his players in like in a good position to win. And it's like the moment as soon as the offense gets out there and he's running it and he's leading it, they're going to score. Like, you don't even know how many plays are going to take just to score. So definitely true offensive leader. I'm excited to watch him play over at OSU. It's going to be awesome to watch. So congratulations, the first ever offensive player of the year.
I'm excited to see him pick apart the Mater Dei defense. I think it's time. Sarah.
Yeah, shoot.
They have everything they need. They have all the tools. And I think it's time. I feel good about Sarah going down south and facing Mater Dei. But one thing about Smith, he didn't have the best offensive performance week in, week out because of either the line or the receivers. I mean, he's got the best tight end, but even the best tight end, struggled sometime during the season. But the way he led Sarah in the last few games, like he really ramped it up. The production went, and so
seeing him run the ball, he's fast. Yeah, he's fast. Like he's deceiving.
He can block. He can block. Yeah. He can take a hit too. So
he's deceivingly fast.
Don't think the boy band leader, the boy band look. Don't let that fool you.
No, he's deceivingly fast, and he knows how to use his body, and he knows how to use like his height and his length and his stride
Yeah.
really, really well. So
He's a pretty intense individual when he's on the field. I've seen it. And so yeah, him getting this award, I thought was like, wow, this is he truly deserved
it's
it.
fitting.
Yeah.
It's fitting.
So up next, we got the defensive player of the year. Players of the year. This was
This
can't
was
get
hard
one
not
or
to.
the other. It's got to be both. This is a package deal right here.
Yeah, honestly, just the way those two play off of each other is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if once Jabari goes in and then Danny follows right behind. I don't know how many plays that we've seen of that where like Jabari is forcing and then all of a sudden you see Danny just right after. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I want to see
Good
the two
compliments.
guys play together at the next level. I don't know if that's even possible, but
We'll
yeah.
see.
One's going to state, the other one's going San Jose State, Jabari, the other one's going to San Diego State. I'm not trying to stir anything up here, but you know, if you're a college coach listening to this, you might want to reconsider.
Keep him here though. Keep
You
him in the
know,
Bay.
a program like Stanford needs guys like this. These are like game changers. They will change your program. Cal, I mean, San Jose State's got 1 out of 2. San Diego State's got 1 out of 2. So, anyways, okay, we'll just leave it at that. Starting offensive linemen of the year. Now, this was an
Yeah,
interesting category because usually we do offensive linemen, but we decided, you know what? It's a team thing. It's got to be the entire unit. So De La Salle's been impressive down the stretch, and they're still going. You know, they're in they're in NorCal, right? So I can see them dominating their way to state this offensive lineman group. So yeah, this was the right pick. Definitely the right pick for offensive lineman of the year. What do you think, Coach?
No, I agree with it. It's like, if you look at, I mean, especially with like the offense that they run, right? Everyone's got to be dialed in. And this group has been together, a lot of them like they usually like all grow up and train together and have played a long time. I think how many graduated from the O-line last year from them? It's in like two.
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh, last year.
Last year's season.
I'm not sure. I know Thompson was the best lineman we saw, and
Yeah.
he's gone. But I'm excited to see one of their linemen participate in our GSF All-Star game, though.
Yeah, no, I mean the thing with De La Salle's offensive line, it's like, everyone has to be on the same page. And like as the season went on, I know like the beginning of the season was a little, I mean, they played tough schedule like at the beginning. But to see them like close it out and the way that they've kind of like started to come up, like you can just tell like, some of the videos that you watch on it and you can like really look at it, like they know who's where and know like how to get each other's back on that one. That's like the big thing. Like everyone's really tuned in. So I'm excited to see how NorCal's and beyond go for them. Maybe they'll bring back another state championship. It's been a while.
Time. I do think it's time. They're due for a championship, a state championship. So let's go, Spartans. All right, moving on. Starting defensive lineman of the year. I mean, come on now. Do we really have to argue about that one?
No.
The Sarah Padres.
Yeah. You don't even have to say much about it. Like that D line in itself is just the reason why their defense is so hard to like, just score on. It starts there. So if you can't get past that, you ain't gonna do anything.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, I mean, if you ask Danny, Niu, and Jabari, man, they'll let you know that their front guys, Timo Poloka, Colin Taitua, you got Falau, and then you have Letter, Letter. I hope I'm saying your name right, my man. But
Okay.
I believe he's a junior. He's coming back next year. But that's hard to get through. And Marley, outside linebacker Marley, like he's part of this unit. And best in NorCal. And I cannot wait to see them go against Mater Dei. Ooh, I'm getting chills, man.
That's gonna be a great game, and that's true. Like, I mean, Danny doesn't fly through like on their called blitzes. Like if that front four doesn't get in, and the amount of force that they drive into like each team, like just that's
exactly.
It. Can't even say much about it.
Yep. So we do have position guys. Quarterback of the year, we gave it to Luke Baker.
I like that pick. That's a great kick, or a great pick. I love that pick.
No, this is a well-deserved award. So what's the difference between Smith and Luke Baker? They're both quarterbacks. One is offensive player of the year. The other one is QB of the year. Somebody asked, so what's the difference?
So when you think about it, like, I'm not going to talk about them as like individual players. Like, I'll talk about like why you would pick like a different quarterback and then have still a different quarterback for something else. If you're looking at in terms of like who can game manage very well, that's makes you the offensive, because that's what makes Smith the offensive player of the year. Just the way that he runs and the way that he understands his offense and his offensive players, right? Yeah. He fits all the phases of the game, right? He can throw, he can run, he blocks, probably could tackle too if he wanted to, but he doesn't need to. But the way that, like, just watching how he was playing, and like, he can look like, you can see that he could probably make audibles really well. He understands. Just game management is what makes you an offensive player. Quarterback is just, if we're looking at like next best of just skill, Luke Baker, for sure, hands down. Just love the way that he like plays, love the way like the clutch plays that he made.
Oh yeah.
He makes really good clutch plays. And him himself, like, his timing on his throws, perfect. Love it.
Yep.
So definitely quarterback skill. That's just pure quarterback skill. It doesn't mean that like he can't game manage. It's just
it was close. It was very close from what I know about this whole process. And we're going to talk about another QB later on, but it was very close. But it came down to exactly what you said. So there you go. Running back of the year. This was not even tough to pick.
Right.
Because we saw a lot of great teams. Let me just put it this way. We saw the top teams. We saw we saw De La Salle, we saw Pitt, obviously Sarah. We saw all the WCL teams. We've seen Los Gatos. Kingston Ke'ana Aina from St. Francis was definitely the best running back we saw. Some would argue, but
yeah. So people were arguing because it's like, the one that they were saying that we missed, like we actually didn't see. So we can't really do anything about that.
Yes, exactly. So it's got to be a player that we actually saw in person perform. I would say runner-up to Kingston would be boxer Kop Sak-kyung from Los Gatos. He's an excellent running back. He's very fast. I gave Kingston the edge because Kingston's a physical runner. Like he can mow you down. He'll blast you out. Blocking is also another category when it comes to running back. So, and he's going to be back, people. So we're excited to see Kingston next year as a senior, and it's going to be a show. And speaking of show, man, wide receiver of the year, this was a no-brainer.
He showed it. He deserves that. Like, after
who name him, coach.
Oh, Mr. Chris Lawson from the Reardon Crusaders. That's a great pick. Like, after seeing like just how he played against, oh man, when league started and how he just started to like kind of blossom a lot more. We already saw what he could do during the preseason, but then once league play came, oh man, I was like, wow, how come I had never heard of this guy before? Amazing kid. Like a bright future for him. So I'm really excited to watch him
The
get
junior,
better.
he's coming back, so we get to see him again. And he does have one of the most talented QBs. I would rank Mitchell in the top 5 QBs that we saw this year. I think I said that during the season, and I'm sticking with that order too. But Chris Lawson, man, he's a showman. He's exciting to watch, and it would be great to see him in the GSF All-Star game next year. That'd be
a good one.
So, all right, next one, Coach. What do we have next?
We got tight end of the year. I like this. I mean, this one was kind of a no-brainer. I mean,
yes,
it's Cole Harrison, Sarah Padres, no-brainer. Dude's a monster.
Yeah, he came up.
Yeah. He in some of the some of the game, like some of the plays, like where it's a run, like he blocks very well, and then he runs good routes too. So it's like that's what you need with a freaking tight end. You need, can you block? Can you run routes? Can you catch? And then can you yards after catch? Definitely yards after catch for this guy. Just amazing player.
Yep.
Love it. I love tight ends. Tight ends are so underrated.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll go to the other category right here. Let's go to defensive back of the year.
You got it.
Joseph Bay, Sarah Padres. Now, this is one of those categories where, like, how do you know? How do you know he's the best one? Because against the best teams, Joseph Bay shuts them down. Like it's kind of hard to explain. You're gonna have to kind of like watch a lot of film to kind of understand this, but there's really nobody else as scary. Maybe Jalen Thomas, but I mean that would be a very like I would say Jalen Thomas is the only other free safety that I've seen this year that would take this spot. But obviously Jalen is our game changer because of all the other things that he could do. But Joseph Bay, again, no brainer, no argument. He is the best free safety out there. He can play corner too. So, yeah. Next one, Coach. Next one. Let's go to defensive end, outside linebacker of the year. This one's a very spot on.
We're on D end, right? Marco Jones, SRV.
Yeah.
Good pick too. Jeez.
I mean, if you got Coach Saban like reaching out to you, Coach Prime, and I think he's got like 20 plus offers. He's a junior, people. He plays for Coach James, BTA team, 7-on-7. We'll see him in the offseason, hopefully. But Marco Jones seems like a really mellow kid too. Like he's intense, but he's not one of those like loud guys on the sideline and stuff. So maybe next year when he's a senior, but it seems like a very humble kid. I've interacted with him on social media. I know his dad is on social. I think he's a son of a former NFLer. I'm not 100% sure. Got to do a research on that. We're doing this on the fly. So, but Marco Jones, man, one of the best defenders that we've seen, and he definitely belongs in this list. So, yeah.
I like it. Next one. Ready? Linebacker of the year. I like this pick. Drew Cunningham of the De La Salle Spartans. I like that pick. It's a really good one. I mean, he honestly, like, he falls like literally in the same line with Danny Niu. Like he's like right there with them. That's the thing. Like these defensive players that we picked for this, they can all pretty much be interchangeable for all that. They're all that good.
And all those guys were on the same list, and I would say the tiebreaker was the 28-0 win.
Yeah.
De La Salle. Sarah, shout out De La Salle, and yeah, that was the tiebreaker. But Drew Cunningham, he is the EBAL Defensive Player of the Year. Definitely one bad man. All right, moving on. Let's go to a Utility Player of the Year. If you don't know by now, you should, really. Jamar Searcy is a junior coming back next year. And he you know who he reminds me? He reminds me of Najee Harris. Like the way this kid he's like a Jalen Thomas. He can do everything. He's probably going to be our player of the year next year. Watch. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can play defense. He's a returner. I'm not sure if he's a kicker.
Yeah,
But
I don't think we haven't seen him kick, but we've seen him return. We've seen him play defense. He's played offense. Have we seen him throw? Has he thrown? I don't think he's thrown yet.
no, because they have one of the best QBs in the Bay.
They
So
don't have to.
doesn't have to touch the ball that way. He doesn't have to touch the ball and let go of the ball. But seriously, I saw him against Los Gatos, and his performance against Los Gatos was outstanding. It kind of stuck. That caught my attention. So every week after that, trying to keep up with Pitt, Marley, and all them guys. Definitely the utility guy. You could put this guy anywhere and he will make plays for you. So well deserved. The man is about to lead his team to a NorCal and state title. This is the year. This is NorCal's year. I think Pitt can do this. I think they can win.
Who do they got to go through? Who do they play?
Folsom.
That's gonna be a good game.
At Folsom. Yeah.
Still gonna be a good game.
Good game. It's gonna be a good game. Definitely. All right, we're gonna skip to the bottom. Let's go Special Teams Player of the Year.
This one was interesting. I was very interested with this one. I was like, okay. And then looking back as to why is this is where we mostly saw him a lot because of the defense from the Sarah Padres. Jaden Green returning punts, getting like the times that they would actually have to get the kickoff, which is usually either at the beginning of the game or at halftime or after the half. This dude could probably he puts them in either just a very good position, which he did like 99% of the time, or he just houses it.
Yep. Well, 99% is like the accurate number because Jaden Green had 4 touchdowns called back. And he still scored. So, I don't care if there's a penalty, but I watched him live and I can honestly say like he put the offense in really good position. And he's not afraid to catch a punt or a kickoff. He's not afraid. Jaden Green, he is the best returner out there. No fear whatsoever. He's gone against Rico Flores. He's gone against Jurion Dickey. He guarded stars that are playing in college right now. And he's probably given up like 2 touchdowns? And they were like, I don't want to say lucky, but receivers kind of got lucky catching those bombs. But Jaden Green, yeah.
Yeah, I got to see him run track that speed.
Right.
That speed is wow. And he's patient with it. Like as soon as he sees his opening, gone. And I got to see that sprint speed from him, and I was like, wow. Now I can see why. Like he's a great returner. Once you get him to once you let him turn the burners on, you're not gonna get him.
Yep.
Not a lot of people can.
So yeah, we're giving you guys proof of why these guys deserve the awards. Kicker of the year, Sam Pierman, 4.5-star kicker from Los Gatos. There's a lot of really good quick kickers this year. St.
A
Francis.
lot of good. St. Francis got one. Bellarmine's got a good kicker.
Ellerman's
Sarah
got a
has.
5-star kicker. Yes. Sarah, Thomas Gooch. Sarah Moon's got a really good kicker too. So how did Sam get this award? Well, I believe kickers need to be reliable when absolutely needed. And even though Thomas Gooch was very excellent, he wasn't really put in any kind of pressure situation. He delivered, but Sam had more pressure performing than any of the other ones. Maybe the San Ramon Valley kicker, yes, but I would say Sam delivered. You look back at the games and you overlook the PATs and all that stuff. But Sam, I know he missed a couple against Reardon, I think, a couple of field goals, but ultimately, like, he made it when it really mattered. And when I saw him against Wilcox, like, he really took out the returners. I think he was 6 for 6 touchbacks, CCS D1 finals. So Sam, congratulations. He can't be at the All-Star game though, because he played.
So well, that makes sense. I mean, but people really don't understand like how important that is. Like, I got to see it, like, and I really never understood the importance of like kickers until like I was working with the indoor league, because it's all about placement and then being able to hang out with, I have a punter that I trained that played for the XFL Vipers, and he was talking about it. What's Palma? He was talking about like, that changes a game so much. And it, like, I would rather pin somebody, let them get a touchback and they'll start at their own 20 versus like, maybe if I get it to like the 5 and then they return it to the 40. That's a huge difference in the game. So definitely got to give that up to, all the kickers. But Sam, what you did at the D1 championships, because Wilcox could return. They have good returners too. They could move it, but you didn't give them a chance, and you put your defense in a really good position. So fantastic job.
Yep, definitely. Let's go to Junior of the Year. My nephew, cousin, Marley Alcantara, Pittsburgh Pirates. That guy's a magician, dude.
I like how there's more and more Filipino quarterbacks coming out.
We are smart people.
We are smart, and I'm glad. I'm glad the quarterbacks that are popping up, I'm glad you guys don't have the typical Filipino genes of being short. So, congratulations on being taller, but being great players. Like, watching Marley play, like, and as a junior, I didn't even know he was a junior when I first heard of him. I was like, I don't even know who this is. And then watch that game against Los Gatos. I was like, okay. Then I started watching a little bit more with Pitt, and then some of my former like kids that used to train with me said, like, dude, the guy from Pitt is just, and he's only a junior. He's amazing. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, he's pretty damn good.
So Junior of the Year, he broke Jaden Rashada's records at Pitt. So there you go. And I don't even, so I mean, he's got Jamar Searcy, but Jamar Searcy is a running back. So him breaking Jaden Rashada's record as a junior, that's insane. That's next level stuff. And I met Marley at a 7-on-7 tournament, our first Top Gun tournament post-COVID. And he literally picked us apart. And he was a freshman. I was like, what? But he beat us in overtime. He's accurate. He's got a really intense, he's a field general. I mean, talk about intense, man. Kevin was telling me that during the halftime of last week's game, this dude gathered up his guys and started talking to them like a commander in chief. Like, he was in charge of his offense, and he made sure that they get the job done. And you know what? That 99-yard touchdown pass, whoo, that was gutsy. Marley can deliver, man. He's got a cannon, and he ain't afraid to use it. And that's what I love about this kid. I mean, he'll throw interceptions, but for the most part, he's gonna thread that ball like it's crazy.
The timing in those windows, it's like that maturity that he has already as a junior.
Yeah.
That's next level stuff right there. Like
Yeah.
that's next level. Like some of the highlights that I started following him on Instagram and then watched some of the throws that he would highlight on there, and I was like, how did you fit that in there? And
Exactly.
it's like, but even it's not even just like how did you fit that in there? Like you have the maturity and you have the skill set to make that throw at your age.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I'm excited to watch him next year. He's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Definitely. All right. Well, since we are in the grade OTYs, sophomore of the year, this was a no-brainer. Like,
so good. Such a good pick. I like the way you say
it
it.
wasn't
You
a
guys,
pick. It was decided. Like the Chase Cahoon, man.
I just love the way you say it.
Like baby Kiko Alonso here. He's not a baby anymore. He's a man
No.
now. But he is one of the hardest hitter. You know, the way I see it is like he's like the next. I don't want to compare him to Jabari or Danny, but he's on that path. Like he's that way. He's going that way. You know, his brother is really good too, by the way. Jackson Cahoon is one of the most outstanding linebackers out there. But Chase was a sophomore. He performed. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL. He had a knee injury. The 9th game of the season. They beat Reardon. They beat okay. And towards the end of the game, he got a helmet on his knee and that he went down. I do believe that had he been healthy, we might be seeing St. Francis in the championship still, like this weekend. He's that kind of a game changer defensively for St. Francis. Well, also Mac Maroka also got hurt. So St. Francis it's just unfortunate. They're all their key guys got hurt and bounced them out. But yeah, Chase Cahoon, be ready next year. He's gonna come back strong. Sophomore of the year. A lot of people had issues with this. A lot of people had issues with the running back of the year. But if you look at the WCAL awards, running back of the year is Kingston. Sophomore of the year is Chase. So I don't know. Maybe we know what we're talking about.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. No, there are other sophomores that really performed well. I know Reardon's got a handful of them. They're very young. De La Salle too, SI, but I would say, yeah, Chase Cahoon, well deserved. Get well soon, man. We'll see you sometime soon. Freshman of the year. This was tight. You want to know who the finalists were?
Yeah, I want to hear this one because there's only a few like standout freshmen that we kind of really saw. Go ahead with it.
For us, this is GetSportsFocus. The finalist for this award was David Lee and Leimani Fejoko, number 55 from Sarah. It all came down to David played a full season with varsity. Leimani, he joined.
Got pulled up.
I believe the 7th game of he was with Sarah for 7 games, regular season games. So, and plus David Lee plays defense. He had a lot of action wise, like he was the guy. In the WCAL awards, the individual that got the freshman of the year is from St. Ignatius, and he's a guard, very talented. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about him in the coming years. So, but yeah, David deserves it. We saw him live. We saw him perform. He's intense. Seems like a very humble kid because, you know, right away when the list was posted, he was thankful. He DM'd me or DM'd GetSportsFocus right away and thanked us for the award. But yeah, he deserves it. I think this was an accurate pick. So those were the two finalists.
Yeah, see, I just didn't know about the Fehoko. I didn't know that. I thought he was on varsity the whole time,
Probably,
but
you probably thought he was a varsity kid because he's a big dude.
he's huge. Like I thought he was older, so until
Yeah,
like I
no,
saw the
a
team,
lot
like,
of people
oh,
did
he's one
too.
of the, yeah. So I mean, I agree with the criteria, and then I mean, David, he made plays. He showed that he could play at the varsity level as a freshman. So it's very fitting, and he played the whole season with them as varsity. So congratulations, I love that one.
Yep. All right. Let's go with coaching staff of the year.
When we talk about coaching staff of the year, like you got to just not and like it shouldn't just like talk about like just like what they did, the players that they have. It's everything that they encompass. You know, coaching staff of the year, and it's a great like just I hope people really like look into it more and see like what they're doing over there at Sarah with the Sarah Padres, and that family culture that they've built there, and as to why the players play the way that they do, and why the team is the way that they are. That's why that this coaching staff is the pick of the year.
Yep.
Hands down.
Coaching staff of the year. Staff. I'll tell you a little inside thing with the Padres. They have a staff as part of their coaching staff. They have a staff that's in charge of equipment. Not one guy, not two guys, not even three. They have a team. There's like 8 of them. They go to games. They set up these things, the big screen. They set up the
Replays.
cameras and all that stuff. I mean, they really go all out when it comes to how I mean, this is the #1 team in NorCal. Of course, you're gonna have that kind of stuff going on, but a lot of people don't realize that a lot behind the scenes, man, these coaches spend hours, and I'm pretty sure that there are other coaches out there who spends hours, but every single one of these coaches, they spend hours preparing their guys, and it could have got another team that probably does this is De La Salle.
Mm-hmm.
It could have gone either way, but we have to go with the #1 team, the team that shut out the other, and that's why coaching staff of the year goes to the Sarah Padres. Yeah, there's really a lot more to it than that. I'm hoping to have one of the coaches join us in one of these talks just to talk about the things that they do that's different. They're very attentive. Their attention to detail is unmatched. Anytime I need stats, I just text and I get it within a few minutes, and it helps. Some team there's a team out there that just sent me their stats from like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Thank you for sending it in, but season's over. Well, at least for that team. Anyway, so yeah, coaching staff of the year. Congratulations, Coach Walsh, Coach Bell, Coach Monsef, all those guys. Great guys. They're funny. They're funny guys. And they have a lot of fun coaching. And they have these guys called the Meerkats, who, like, all you have to do is say, I need an iPad, and they'll come get it. And they'll bring it to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they have a staff. And so it's a real legit, like, college, even pro style operation they got going on over there. So, yeah, congratulations. All right, team of the year. Wow. 4 teams. It came down to 4 teams. Los Gatos, De La Salle, Sarah, I mean, it could have.
Who was the fourth?
Oh, I don't know what the four that I only have 3 of them here,
They said four.
but that's the 3.
Yeah, the top three. I mean, and look where they're at.
Yeah. Oh, but Pitt is the other one. Pittsburgh.
And again, still,
Pittsburgh's the other one.
but
Yeah.
still, look at where they're at, right? Look at together.
They're still playing, and they're probably,
Mhm.
it would be great is if all 4 of them win state. Oh, that would be so awesome. It's
That's
possible.
more because that's not even just like a NorCal thing. That's a Bay Area thing.
That's a Bay Area thing.
That's Bay Area thing. So we're not just the best. Like it's not just like Northern California. It's this Bay Area region. That'd
Yeah.
be sick.
So the approach of play for your brothers, play for your school, play for your community, I like that approach. And the approach where you basically tell your players, empty the tank, play your butts off, and empty the tank. That's the kind of message I know for a fact a lot of these coaching staff, these teams, De La Salle, Pitt, Sarah, and Los Gatos, they tell their players. So if that's the goal, I think they have a shot, because I'm not sure who else is down there. It's like you don't even want to know. It's like you don't really care what's going on with the other teams. It's like if you really focus on what you're capable of and what you can accomplish, I do believe that this is very doable. This could be like the 2015 state championship when 4 out of 5 NorCal teams won state. Palo Alto, De La Salle, Escalon, I think, and Cardinal Newman all won state titles in the same year. And that's when they only had 5 state championships. So yeah, I'm excited, man. This list is gonna be hard to beat next year. We were fortunate enough to see all these teams consistently, and yeah, great job. GetSportsFocus. You guys picked the right dudes and the right individuals. Like, who gives an offensive lineman of the year award? Of the year.
As a group.
It's a group. Yes. So, all right. That takes care of that. We can talk a little bit about the All-Star.
Let's do it.
Coach Andrew is going to join us on Sunday. Sunday is going to be the GSF All-Star Camp, and it's also going to be a tryout for our 7-on-7. We're not expecting a big turnout for the 7-on-7 because we kind of know, we have an idea of who we want to take already. So these are for the guys that want to try out and join us. We're also going to have a super team, by the way. And we're going to have the majority of these guys behind me join us on Sunday. So it's going to be a really nice environment. It's going to be competitive. We're going to see a lot of these all-star guys for the first time. But one of the main things that we want to do is just get right into football. And, a lot of these guys haven't played in a few weeks. It's been a month.
Yeah.
The season ended for some of these guys. So we want to get them going. We want them to, make sure that they're stretching, they're hydrating, and just get back into that football shape.
Right.
We have a lot of ballers. A lot of ballers this year. I believe we have 30 schools represented, which is a lot.
And like different areas too. Like I think this is the most that we have. Like it's not just San Jose, Santa Clara, like South Bay area. Like we're looking at like Monterey, Santa Cruz, like Santa Cruz. Getting Santa Cruz kids in this is like that's humongous. That's awesome.
Some guys are in the bubble because they're still playing. So that's always something to consider. Like, we want to make sure we leave enough room for guys that are still playing because they don't want to decide if they want to play or not
right
away. but the guys that have been posted are definitely in.
Mhm.
Who ask me who the quarterbacks are, Coach?
Yeah. Who are the quarterbacks,
Who
Alf?
are the quarterbacks? Well, let me start off with
Heroes.
we don't know who's gonna play where yet, but
Oh, okay.
obviously Parker 3 is one of our QBs. He's a dual threat quarterback. Um, he could play any position really, but he was our GSF 5-star QB, and I mean, obviously we're gonna take him. He had an excellent year as an individual athlete at Bellarmine, so he is one of the quarterbacks. Another quarterback is Tay Fyson from Berkeley. I saw his reel, and I'm like, yeah, let's take him. He's a smart kid. He's got the grades, and he's probably going to play at the next level. Hopefully we can help him get that offer before or sometime around the All-Star process. We have Noah Beeden. He is from Los Altos. Heard a lot of really good things about him from the teams that they played. So he's going to be bringing one of his receivers, big guy. He's going to be there on Sunday. Cedeno Chavez from Willow Glen. Cedeno is a really, really good QB. He's definitely a next level QB. He's a tall kid. He's got the arm. He's like a deep ball kind of guy. So we need that because we have a lot of speed in this All-Star game. And so I'm looking forward to having him be one of our guys. And of course, we got two more dual threat, Brooks Trimmer from Sarah, who could easily start for any other team out there, and Tyson Bonilla from Wilcox, who's got speed galore. So who's going to start? I don't know. They're going to have to compete for a starting spot, but there's going to be 3 quarterbacks on each side. I'm already talking to the coaches as far as like, hey man, we got to go no huddle. Let's pack in 250 plays in a game. That would be crazy, but I think it's doable. I mean, we have the speed, and these guys want to play. You know what I love? Like interacting with these players and parents. There are kids out there, they just love football, and I'm so glad that we are giving them this opportunity. I mean, it's I feel blessed to have these families, to get to know them, and obviously the coaches that we have in this game are not just coaches. They're mentors. They want to be part of something special, and this game is not about GSF. This game is not about the coaches. This game is not about our area versus that area. No, this game is about the athletes. And that's why when you see all these posts, the biggest image you see is the athlete. And then the next biggest image you see is their names. Because this is a way for us to recognize the guys that paid their price with grades. And, you don't have to be the superstar of the team. You just got to be a starter. And a lot of the coaches have, really good things to say about these individual kids. So yeah, man, I'm juiced. It's a lot of work preparing for this, but I know it's gonna be worth it, because last year was worth it.
Last year was so much fun.
Last year was fun. And I'm telling these guys, like, man, you guys are gonna have fun. You might be rivals, in the past 4 years, but once you step on that field, you're gonna get to know each other, and you're gonna be friends for life, hopefully.
Yeah, some of the kids from last year still talk to each other, which is awesome. It's awesome.
So, Coach, what do you want to say to the guys that are coming on Sunday? I mean, it's Wednesday. We have a couple of days to adjust and get ready. What do you want to say to these guys?
Well, for all the senior all-star guys, like, really just come out, just kind of shake the rust off, just meet people, meet everyone that's that's already going to be coming out there, and just have a good time. And then all the guys coming out to try out for sevens. How many teams are being tried out for? I think it's you guys, your 2 teams, right? And then mine. So there's 3 teams that are going to be evaluating guys for 7-on-7 season. And it's even the same thing. be ready to compete, but understand that, like, especially for the guys trying out for sevens, that, like, we're looking to add players to our teams, like, and this is good for you guys to just kind of get moving. But for everybody together, be ready to move. Like, I'm gonna see like where everyone's at, because then we can kind of determine, like, all right, we got to kind of take this a little slow. I don't know what you guys have been doing since the season ended. But I'll definitely give you guys some recommendations on what to do leading up to practice, getting your bodies ready again, and trying to ramp back up to be ready to play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. But right about now, we have a special guest. He is one of the coaches of the week that we recognized this year, and he just happens to be the last one.